Hello and welcome back to the 11-1 official YouTube channel. In this week's video, I will be focusing on ranked battles and creating an overview for those of you that are curious as to how they work, or if you're struggling to make progress, or if you're simply curious as to what the rewards are, as there are many, as you make your way up the ranks. So without further ado, let's hop right into the rewards of ranked battles. So as far as rewards for ranks go, there are several divisions, but first you have to complete your qualification, which consists of 20 battles. And depending on how well you do in those first 20 battles, you can get a certain number of bonus battles that will give you a percent bonus to the number of chevrons you get every game thereafter for those number of battles. Let's say you do well enough and you get 9 extra bonus battles. For those battles, let's say if you get 1 chevron, you could you will get the bonus will benefit you in that you will get 2 chevrons instead. Similarly to if you got 2 chevrons, you would get 4. So after you can completed the first 20 of your qualification battles, you are rewarded with a rank token, which you can use to later on go and buy specific rewards from I believe it's called the ranked battles items. Items that can be purchased for bonds in ranked battles mode, which include a special unique 3D style for the T100 LT, the Belated 65, and a unique tank called the Kampfpanzer 50T, which you probably have encountered a few times here and there on the battlefield. There are also annual rewards, which you use to spend the actual ranked tokens. The other rewards I just showed you, I realize, are actually for bonds, so it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the ranked tokens. But anyway, ranked tokens are things you get gradually. The first reward, you get 20 credit boosters and 20 combat experience boosters, which is worth 3 tokens. The next, worth 6 tokens, is the same but with a bond gun rammer. The third and the first one you'll probably be interested with is worth 9 tokens and includes the newly introduced reward vehicle, the Concept 1B, which is an American Tier 9 reward vehicle, alongside the Bond gun rammer and Bond vs. Stab, as well as 20 credit and 20 experience reserves. If you happen to play enough to where you can buy the maximum reward, you'll get everything I've just mentioned, plus also a Bond ventilation system. So you can get a total of, I believe, 4 ranked tokens per season, and this is coming from someone who's only played this ranked season so far, because I haven't particularly been around enough this year to play in ranked, but you do get 4 per season. So if you want to actually get the Concept 1B this year, you will have already had to have participated in one of the previous ranked seasons prior to this one, gaining at least 1 more token, because I do believe that there will be 1 more ranked season after this one this year, or early next year, and then at that point you'll be able to get the Concept 1B if you don't already have a bunch of the ranked tokens. So as far as rewards for ranks go, you get a variety of things, ranging from premium time, credits, premium consumables, a good deal of bonds, and once you reach the 10th rank per division, for the 3rd division you get 750 gold and another rank token, and then for the 10th division, the 2nd division, you get an increased discount on the vehicle's items for bonds in this section that I showed you earlier for the special styles, the T100 LT, the Progetto, as well as the KPZ 50T, I believe. And so that's pretty useful if you want to not spend the full price, which I do believe is like 20,000 bonds in total. And then for the first division, you get 1,000 gold and a further discount. So you can make lots of credits, even though you'll probably be spending lots of credits on this game mode, firing premium rounds, because you want to be as competitive as possible. Now, speaking about being competitive, let's talk about tanks that you would probably want to use if you can to be as competitive as possible. Obviously, reward vehicles such as the Chieftain and the 907 and the 183, for example, are no longer an option, considering they have since removed reward vehicles. I don't know how many seasons that's been the case, but it is now. So let's go through the tech tree, and I'll go nation by nation and just cover the vehicles that I would say would be worthwhile to use, and also based on ones I've seen. So as far as the American tech tree goes, the T110E4 I've seen as far as tank destroyers is probably more common, because it's basically like an E100 but just with super high premium pen at 375 on the APCR rounds. That's pretty useful if you want to simply just not have to worry about aiming and just kind of print 750 damage per shot. Another good choice is the T110E5. I've also seen the 57 Heavy. The odd loader is very devastating, and with its quick 1600 burst damage, it can do quite a bit. But the E5 seems to be the more common choice, especially since its recent buff. And then the tank that I used the most was the M48 Patton, mainly because I don't really have a lot of other Western tier 10 medium tanks like the STB-1, for example, or the Leopard 1, that were also very popular choices for a lot of people. But it's also just a solid choice. It's a very good ridgeline worker. It's got a very accurate, snappy gun, lots of view range, so you can get yourself some assistance with spotting, etc., etc., all of which help contribute to making progress through the ranks. As far as Germany goes, the main choices I saw there were the Leopard 1, like I said, as well as the Grill 15 as far as tank destroyers go. A couple of E100s and Mouses here and there, but realistically it's not very a wise idea, especially because lots of rank battles go quickly and they're very slow. And even if you can get to the front lines, you just get melted by premium rounds because they are very large boxes of HP as far as they're concerned. As far as Russia goes, or the USSR, Soviet Union, the 2684 is a solid tank destroyer choice. 277 and IS-7 were also common heavy tank choices. 430U is pretty good for the lower ranks, but once you start getting higher, the 140 is definitely probably your better shot. And then the T100 LT is always solid as far as light tanks go. I'd probably try to stay away from most tanks in the British line, aside from the S-Conk. The S-Conk is a perfect choice. It's a great brawler. It's probably best in class as far as ridgeline working goes. Maybe only beaten by the Kronvan. However, its gun doesn't perform as well as the S-Conk, so just keep that in mind. French 50B is a solid choice. It just is a very large profile, so it can be punishing on a lot of maps for players that don't know how to work around that. And so just keep that in mind. But if you load a lot of premium rounds and you just sit yourself in a snipey situation, you can farm a lot of damage in advantageous situations. The Batchat is the same, a little more mobile, and it can spot for itself really well. But I think that I didn't really see 50Bs or Batchats as often as I did other vehicles. EBR, of course, very much so, kind of the easy mode light tank that can print you pretty easy results, or pretty impressive and consistent results, even if you don't know how to play light tanks very well. So definitely a solid choice. PvP probably was one of the more common medium tanks I saw in the selection, because the burst damage is so high, the clip reload's pretty low, and medium tanks in general are just nimble, especially this one, so certainly a good choice there for sure. STB-1, absolutely, I would stay away from the Type 5, because it's even more so than the German heavy tanks, a giant box of HP, and you'll struggle for sure. As far as Chinese tanks go, probably stay away from all of these except for maybe the 5A, but in my personal opinion, the Object 277 is just a better choice as far as that goes. 60 TP, I saw plenty of those. I didn't really see CS63s a whole ton, but they're certainly a solid choice if you know how to work around the unique mechanic that it has. And like I mentioned earlier, with the Kronvon, it's very good at working on ridge lines. Its turret armor is very strong. The only problem is its premium rounds only have about 300 millimeters of pen, so you might struggle against some of some players that know how to work around a ridge line and know how to use their armor effectively. But generally speaking, the Kronvon's a good choice. Sturv, if you're wanting to snipe from far distances and remain concealed, very good choice. High DPM, you can farm a lot of damage very quickly. Udez, I'd probably stay away from that because it's a solid choice, but it kind of just gets outclassed most of the time by most other mediums. And last but not least, the Progetto, which has, yes, since been nerfed since it's released. However, it's still very solid. It's still a good choice if you want to experience that medium gameplay. So all in all, I would say that mediums are probably your best bet as far as ranked battles go, because they're a good cross between that light tank slash heavy tank gameplay, especially with the M48, something like an M48 patent that can play both roles pretty well. So yeah, all that being said, let's get right into a game and kind of go through my thought process as we play a few games here. Alrighty folks, so we have spawned into a battle here on El Haluf, and we are on the northeastern spawn, which is it's debatable whether it's better than the other spawn as far as the fight that occurs in the top 9 grid squares here. However, you'll typically find that most games have 2 artillery because, for those of you that are not aware, the artillery limit in ranked battles is 2 as opposed to the 3 in random battles. However, that means that more likely you'll be seeing 2 because, well, first of all, artillery players are out in droves in ranked battles because most people are just going for the rewards and less for the actual rank, like myself, but I don't have any tier 10 artillery and I didn't really plan on buying one just to play ranked. But that being said, you'll likely have to experience and deal with 2 artillery per game, so just be wary of that if you're playing in a position that is susceptible to artillery fire. Be wary, because it can cause you problems. So we get a shot into the Kronvon there as he crosses over to the right-hand side position. And what I'm really thinking here is try to just be patient. A lot of ranked battles is not playing super aggressively unless you know you can get into an advantageous position that will benefit you later on in the battle. Most times out of 10, though, it'll pay off to play more passively and take advantage of people that are like this TTP here that get a little bit overzealous about their push. And okay, well, it looks like I'm still gonna get punished for that. However, as you can see, our 5A here has also hemorrhaged a lot of his HP pool because of the committing down into this dip. This dip only really works if they don't have a tank over here, first of all, and second of all, if they don't already have a large number of vehicles here that are likely to just over peak because they have someone over in this position that can shoot at you, especially a Super Conqueror that has lots of gun depression that can very easily use that position without much repercussion other than from artillery. So just be careful of that on this map. So yeah, at this point, there, as you can see, a lot of the enemy team is consisted of either vehicles with a lot of gun depression or good DPM or both, which is why the S-Conqueror, or the Super Conqueror, is a very good choice, along with something like an E5, because the S-Conqueror is a prime example of very good gun depression combined with really good gun performance. So, as well as very strong turret armor. So combining those two things together means that you'll perform very well in a situation where the fights are very close, people don't make a lot of mistakes, at least not often, and So the battles usually take longer, which means that you need to make sure that your HP is being used to the fullest effect. And just trying to play as cleanly as you can, because if you overextend yourself in any capacity, especially when you're fighting against people on a corner like this with where you could get shot and pretty much die within a second or two, you have to be careful of your peaks. Make sure that you're making worthwhile decisions and trades. So this 2684 is deciding to go all in and commit to this flank. Oh boy, I am taking all kinds of fire from Super Conquerors and artillery and bat chats that are driving across the way. So now the enemy team, since they've killed both of our tanks that have committed to this dip, are now doing the same, trying to take control of this whole position as a whole. As we can see, there's an EBR running around in the field behind us, so if we try to get some shots on them, that would be good. However, it will probably prove difficult to do so, as it is very fast moving, and even if you do end up hitting an EBR, most times out of 10, you'll probably hit the track and do no damage. But that's just how they are. I mean, probably not most times out of 10, but a good portion of the time when I shoot those tanks, even if I'm not aiming low enough to hit the track, it just ends up bouncing off in some capacity. So that's why the EBR is also a good choice as far as light tanks go in this game mode and in general. I mean, EBRs are just... They're notoriously strong for situations where they need to avoid damage, but also do a lot of spotting. So at this stage, it's looking like we're going to win this game. The reason for that is because the enemy team was very aggressive. They are losing a lot of their hit points by playing in aggressive locations where they're not getting a lot of trades from. And as a result, that means that they are losing in number and not really trading a lot in return. Their EBR is about to die, which will lose them vision on the tanks that are in our base. And slowly but surely, we'll start to win this game. So let's try to see if we can put a shot into this. We can, but we do take a shot, which kills our loader. No matter, though, it brings the Object 2684 down to a one-shot, which means that they are now back to the garage. So my real concern here is this 140 who's easily able to peek this bridge line with its recently buffed gun depression up to 7 degrees, which now allows it to effectively use this position, which previously I don't really think it could have been able to do so. I also missed out on an opportunity to shoot the bat chat because it was running away while I was not looking. So I'm going to try to wiggle my turret here, make my shot on my cupola a little bit more difficult. I'm going to wait for one of my teammates to take the shot here because realistically, they were probably going to die anyway. No, that's just an excuse. I'm being selfish. But that's kind of what you have to be in this game mode. If you want to make reasonable and serious progress, you have to make decisions based on, you know, realistically, in such and such situation, am I going to benefit from being a team player or from being selfish and making solo plays? And most times you're going to benefit from being selfish because the goal is to outperform against the enemy team and your team. And so for that reason, most times you'll go for shots that are either kill shots, because kills do give you a pretty decent amount of experience in this game mode. Because the other thing to keep in mind is that the rank system is not really necessarily based on personal performance. I mean, of course, doing a decent amount of damage, doing a decent amount of assistance damage, and getting a lot of kills are things that would typically suggest that you are, you know, a decent player and that you're contributing to your team and you're having a good result. However, there is also a unique feature to ranked battles that is you receive a certain amount of experience based on the specific role that Wargaming has assigned to your tank can get. And that can range from a wheeled light tank or an assault medium or a heavy brawler or whatever the names they've assigned. I can show you the list of those here. But as you can see, we finished top 3 in the team. The top 3 on the winning team get 2 chevrons, and the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 after that, well, the top 10 get chevrons, 7 of which get 1, and 3 of which get 2. And even if you're on the losing team, if you do well enough, you can get a chevron, which is another problem with ranked, making it kind of that making it kind of that selfish play. Like, even if you're losing, if you notice that your team is losing, you kind of have to make the decision to fall back, farm as much as you can, and you know, play for your own result, because if you're losing, you have the risk of losing a chevron, and you know, you don't really want to do that, especially if you are trying to climb the ranks. So as you can see, we did nearly 5,000 damage and nearly 1,700 spotting, so it's a pretty good result. However, we still didn't finish all the way top on experience, which doesn't really matter because you still get the 2 chevrons. However, as you can see, the STB1 on my team, even though I did over 1,000 more damage than they did, the 4 kills stacks up and adds up, even though it's only, you know, a negligible amount of difference, because the damage still does count in ranked. The kills can certainly make a difference. But as you can see, I got 312 experience for compliance with the vehicle role. And the vehicle role for this case, actually I can tell exactly. So there's heavy destroyers, which for me, Jagdpanzer 100, Kron 150B. I don't really know why these are. Heavy destroyer would suggest to me like a tank destroyer with a big gun. But that just is me looking at it literally. And then there's versatile attack vehicles, 430U and M48 Patton, which I'm assuming means just, you know, heavily or decently armored medium tanks. Light attack vehicle, 140. Breakthrough tank, Super Conqueror 277 IS-7, so decent heavy tanks. Defender, big trundling heavy tanks like a Mouse or E100 or Type 5. Fire cover, which would be a Batchat, I suppose. High caliber support, I don't seem to have anything like that. I'm assuming it's not artillery, but I'm not really sure what that would be. Sniper, of course, SDRB 103B. And tracked scout, I don't have any of those. Wheeled scout, you can assume what those are, and then artillery. So based on the category or the battle role of your vehicle, which you can find out what that is based on the tank that you're playing, you can perform in a certain way to make sure that you profit from playing in that play style and being rewarded with experience towards your specific vehicle role. So, for example, if you're playing a Super Conqueror, getting blocked damage will help you in an effort to make more experience based on that role. So, other than that, folks, I hope you did enjoy this ranked review, although short but sweet. I hope that it did inform you in some way, or that it did answer some questions with regards to how it works, what rewards you can get, and how you can progress faster. As far as if there are any benefits to playing after you get all of the ranked rewards, other than the badge and the let's see here, the rewards for leagues. If you get to a certain league, you get this camo style for bronze, and for silver, you get a little bit more of the red, as you can see, and for gold league, it's very red and very, and there's also some white patches as well, so it just becomes more obvious and you get the badge there. I'm not super concerned about, you know, rising in the ranks, because I just kind of did it for the rewards. But for those of you interested, that's kind of what you get, plus the badge for once you've completed the rewards. So anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to comment down below your thoughts. Leave a like if you enjoyed what you saw here today, and subscribe if you've not done so already. And until the next one, take care. Bye-bye.